we were all fans of
Oh.
Shang-Chi and the legend of the 57 cock rings or whatever it was. And Simu Liu, like, wow, like what a awesome guy he turned out to be. A real charismatic movie star. Anyway, he was on like the American equivalent of Dragon's Den, where he was like given the opportunity to approve various businesses and invest in them, and someone made the mistake of approaching him with the idea of boba tea, you know, that thing which really has kind of run its course already. It's like
little tapioca balls in it.
Yeah, those weird things.
Yeah, it's like Shark Tank if you're in America. Yeah,
that should have skipped me by. I never even knew what boba tea was.
Nope.
It was a
not good. Mahler.
It was like it was a complete, like, what would you even call it? Like, it was like doing the YOLO or something. It was like just a complete fad that came and went in the space of like a week. But anyway, like he wants to bring it to the masses. But anyway, let's see what you got to say about it.
I am studying your can, and I am looking for anything that tells me where boba came from. And where boba came from is Taiwan. You know, I started this venture company for a lot of reasons, but really primarily to uplift minority entrepreneurs. And not only do I feel like this is not happening here.
Because you're too white, boy. Anyway, I'll carry on.
But that I would be uplifting a business that is profiting off of something that feels so dear to my cultural heritage.
He's Canadian, by the way. I just wanted to say that. Like, I'm sure boba is a really big part of Canadian culture, but anyway.
When you think of Chinese Canadians, boba is, of course, the first thing you would think of.
Sure, yeah.
Just quickly, I like that this guy made it out of the porn industry.
I would say this guy's outfit is what you should not do anything with. No one that dresses like that you should be in business with.
When did socks go out of fashion? I just want to ask that. What the fuck?
Of bringing boba to the masses, but not like this. So for that reason, I'm out.
Not like this.
Thanks.
Respect that.
Respect that.
I don't.
Why do you respect
It makes me
that?
sad how successful this business is. It makes me sad that people are, you know, they're drinking boba with a raccoon with a sun. And
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Like when he says, it makes me sad how successful these people are.
To
Like,
be clear, right?
white people,
boba is, you could say it's similar to any given type of thing you can put into a thing. As in, like, it's not a Mars bar, as in it comes from a very specific, it's like a broad thing.
Well, you know, it'd be like, to put this into context, I suppose, like if I was on this panel and like someone came to me and it's like, I want to do haggis flavored fucking crisps or something, like, you know, it'd be like me getting all pissy, like, oh, well, haggis is part of my cultural heritage because I'm Scottish, and it makes me mad that you're like making money off it.
Isn't it
So I want you to
slightly
like, go
worse
off
than
and
that,
die.
though? Because didn't he read the can and said, that comes from Taiwan, it's part of my cultural heritage? And last I checked, Simu Liu is Chinese Canadian. If you ask the people of Taiwan whether they consider themselves part of China, they would not say yes. So who's culturally appropriating now, you shit?
Oh, and also, the haggis connection, I love that I got to say that. Would that mean that if I were making that and you would say to me, you need to be clear on where haggis comes from? Like, that's your criticism of my product at that point?
Well, that and the fact that you're a non-Scottish person who's profiting off the sale of haggis-related products. That would make
like
me
the
mad,
lamest
apparently.
shit, man.
Is that not an
We'd be
actual
fucked
law?
in Australia because we like alcohol.
Exactly.
In Australia. we didn't
If we're going to
invent
go,
alcohol.
if we're going to go back to like each person's cultural like inventions and stuff, like every time Simu Liu like uses a telephone, like that was invented by a Scottish person. So he should, like, I'm mad that he's like appropriating my cultural heritage.
Maybe that's why he's not wearing socks.
Every time he uses antibiotics to deal with an infection, well, that was invented in Scotland. So like,
Only
I'm mad
Italians
about that.
can listen to the radio.
This is like the opposite. Like, he's doing the bad version, because like if those crisps, those theoretical fucking haggis ones, was super successful, and then everyone just randomly goes, by the way, what is haggis? And then they just randomly find out it's from Scotland. Is that not way better than hoping the failure of the company? Like, why would that be the better result?
Well, here's a crazy suggestion, right? What if you invest in this company and you say, like, let's invest in it. I'm going to give you like $1 million or whatever it is you need, and let's also take some time to like make it clear on the packaging where this comes from. Like it's invented in Taiwan or whatever. And like, great. Like, so we all win from this. And so I want you to be successful and let's respect where this thing came from. Great. Everyone does well then.
Apparently,
Instead
in
of
the clip,
being a
they
dick
were
like
happy
this.
to do that. The business owners there were happy to do that. And I'm sure they
So he's just a petty bitch.
I'm sure their suppliers in where it's coming from are happy that this guy's blowing all their profits that they're making off this company.
This is what I mean, man. Like, I don't see how this is the better cultural result. He's just being a bitch. It's like he wanted this. It's like he wanted this to be shared for people to go, "Wow, Simu Liu takes care of me as part of Taiwanese culture." Boba, what are you talking about? Especially because isn't this thing a phenomenon well before their company anyway, or rather, whether or not their company is functioning?
Well, that's it. Yeah, like it's been around for a year or two at least. Like I've seen it all over places like London, Edinburgh. Like there's places selling boba tea stuff, and like, it kind of feels like it's almost come and gone. Like we're at the tail end of that little craze for what that was.
I love too that he's there for the minorities, and he's pretending that Asians are the minorities in business around the world. Those billions of people that make and sell everything are the minority and need help.
Are we playing the part where she says something back to him, doesn't she?
Oh yeah, hold on.
Have the opportunity to change and do that.
That's true, but there has to be a willingness, and I have to be able to invest in these founders knowing that that change is possible.
They didn't say no. The collaboration that they've had to this point is with their supplier in Taiwan. And if nobody else has told them that before, you can't put that all on them.
That fucking face of like, yeah, I've been rumbled here.
I love it. She has the most basic fucking analysis of the situation. He's like, you know what? I am retarded.
They're so not used to people talking back to them like this.
He was expecting everyone to give him a big pat on the back and say, "Oh, you're so right. You're so right. It's so terrible how your culture is being appropriated," because he's in that Hollywood bubble. That's what he's used to. And when somebody pushes back on him, he's just lost. He's like, rabbit in the headlights, doesn't know what to do.
This is what
And
happened
even
with
his
that.
his concept of advertising, like he has a go at the raccoon with sunglasses, and it's like, well, if they put a Chinese or a Taiwanese person there, they'd probably be angry that was, the wrong way of selling the product as well. Like he's pretending they don't just use characters to sell things, and he's just so full of shit.
He doesn't apply it to himself, or obviously he doesn't apply it to himself, but his phone, I'm sure he probably has a tablet, his laptop, all of these things contain chips which are produced in Taiwan. It produces like 90% of all the world's microchips. Is he uplifting minority businesses in Taiwan when he pays for an Apple contract, which he probably
do the
does?
Apple boxes have all the labels for which place the things are made and where they come from, what they mean. Is like, I doubt it.
Yeah.
Also, just his assertion that he got into this to uplift minority businesses. It's like, no, you should invest in whatever business is going to provide the best service or product within that field, period. The race of the person behind the service or product is completely irrelevant. It's just an evil idea on its face, and we should utterly reject that. And he's a dickhead for saying that.
And mainland China, anyway, it's like
they're not even
built on
idea.
it.
These people were like, okay, we'll do that. It's just not even like, what the fuck? Why is he so mad?
Didn't give them the chance to answer that question. Yeah, like mainland China is built on cultural appropriation. Its entire economy is based on intellectual property theft. So he doesn't really have any grounds to complain. But he's also not, from what I understand, he's not that popular in mainland China because they think he's fuck ugly, which I kind of agree with. But I think they do it based on looks because the Chinese are a bit like that. I do it based on moral character because he seems to be a shit.